Hey guys, Thogden here, and welcome back to a very serious topic. The Premier League have confirmed that Everton Football Club will receive a 10-point deduction in the Premier League table. That's instantly taken them from 14 points down to 4 points. Deep in the relegation zone, 5 points they need to pick up now to get out of that in a very difficult situation. Lots of people talking about it. It's time for my verdict personally. First of all, things get bad to worse for Everton. Their upcoming fixtures include United at home, Forest away, that's a very tough game with their form there, Newcastle at home, Chelsea at home. So things are going to be difficult for Daishi and those Everton players. Everton wasted no time too. They sent an immediate response to the Premier League, most importantly mentioning the disproportionate and unjust sporting sanction that they have received. And that's clearly aiming towards the treatment that other bigger Premier League clubs like Chelsea this season or Manchester City with an official 115 breaches, yet Everton are the first club to actually receive a points deduction for what they've done. So what have Everton really broken? Because I'm seeing a lot of people talking about it and their transfers, ins and outs of this season and last year. But what have they actually done? Well, they broke the profit sustainability rules during the 2021-22 season. To explain what that is, it's the club's adjusted earnings before tax figure, where there's an official loss of £124.5 million, which exceeds the threshold of 105 million. So whenever a club goes above the 105 million losses, they have to get in a legal court case with the Premier League and figure out what they've done wrong. And that's when it becomes a fine and points deductions come in. And as you can see, they're nearly 20 million over that threshold. So it wasn't even touch and go. They clearly surpassed that. The original sanction was linked to a 12-point deduction, which the news came out about 3 weeks ago. But the final decision was 10 points from the Premier League. A lot of people online have been mentioning their transfer record of the 21-22 season, saying, well, actually, we were 6.5 million in the positive. So why are we getting done? Well, it's actually nothing to do with the transfers on the pitch, but the costs outside of it. The biggest outlay was the construction costs for their new Everton stadium at Burnley Moor Dock, which has topped up to £200 million. And during that season, that is what pushed them over the threshold boundary. Now, the way Premier League football clubs work, you have to generate revenue in order to spend it. So someone like Man City generate way more broadcast rights, sponsorships, deals, Champions League football, big players, lots of, shirts sold. All these things mean they're allowed to spend more. And that's probably why they have more ground to stand on when it comes to a court case with these breaches. But for Everton, you can see that their broadcast rights are one of the lowest in the Premier League. They don't sell as many shirts. They don't generate as much cash. And they are not as big of a club on paper, which is exactly why it's easier for the Premier League to directly go to them and give them the points deduction because they have less ground to stand on. Things get even worse for Everton over the last week because Leeds, Leicester and Burnley have teamed up to write to the new owners 777 partners to actually sue the club because the breaches should have hit them last season, which potentially could have kept a club like Leicester City up. Now they're in the Championship. So there's more problems, more legal costs coming in, and they still have to finish the stadium. So talk about hitting a club whilst they're down low. This is what the Premier League have done. And I actually question the fairness. They do have grounds to stand on, and I do think they do deserve some kind of fine. But where is the consistency? Because you've already reported, Premier League, that there's 115 breaches of Man City. Chelsea, you've already confirmed that they've broken the rules in some points. You've changed the rules so they can't do the same signings that they did in the summer. So why have Everton been the ones to be used to set the example? Why hasn't it been Man City, which have been through previous years and done the same sort of things, but got away with it? The truth is, in my opinion, the league is scared to go for the big boys. If you're aiming for Sheikh Mansour, you're going to be in a very expensive legal court case. They've got the best lawyers. The same has happened with Barcelona. They've broken the rules for years and they've been fighting it off, not just with the amount they're spending, but with referees. We've seen it with big clubs all around the world. If you can get the best lawyers and fight in court, you will not eventually get done. Whilst Everton have been thrown a 10-point deduction while they're already down, they don't have the money to spend for the best lawyers in the world, and they've received it. So I feel as if right now they're picking off the smaller clubs on the smaller budgets to lay down the rules and set an example. I don't think that is fair. Look, I'm a Bolton fan. I'm wearing a Bolton shirt, and in January 2020, we also received a 12-point deduction in League One. We had to play the kids because we couldn't afford to pay the senior players. We were literally watching 16, 17-year-olds play against Coventry City at home. They were losing 6-0. We lost 5-0 to Tranmere. We got relegated to the fourth tier of English football. In 2012, 2013, we were in the Premier League. I remember going away to Atletico Madrid in European days. In my lifetime, I'm 22 years old. That's how much it's changed at Bolton. And I really worry that the same thing is going to happen to Everton, all because they've decided to use them as the example and not a bigger club in the Premier League. And that is just not fair for the community and the fans of Everton who watch and die for that club, and they don't deserve this, to be honest. I don't want to see what's happened to Bolton happen to any other club. And with Everton building a new ground, to have to potentially start their season in the Championship, I just don't get it. I don't know why the rules have hit now. I don't know why this point deduction has come in. And I think I am completely backing the decision of the appeal of Everton FC to actually work with the Premier League to see if they can actually have more balance and work out a better outcome for this. Same has happened to Reading, Birmingham City, Wigan Athletic. These are the clubs that have been punished by the EFL with points deductions. And we've already been down. We've already got relegated. You see Reading in League One now. Birmingham City have just got back with new owners. Wigan are in a struggling position. I'm a Bolton fan. That's our rivals. And I don't wish this on any football club. I've been to Everton. I know what it means to the fans. I went there last year at the end of the season. They eventually stayed up against Crystal Palace. They pitch invaded. You can see the passion. It means so much to them. And this is why I don't think it is fair that they're laying down the rules and not touching the big boys. This takes me back. It feels a similar sort of story to the Super League, where the smaller clubs were devalued. They wanted to create a different league for the Chelseas, the Man Cities, the Tottenhams, put them in a Super League with big European clubs like Barcelona and Real Madrid, and leave the teams like Everton, Aston Villa, Leicester, all these clubs, they can go play in a different division. That the sort of thing that Florentino Perez wanted to build with the Super League, it's the same sort of thing here, with the decisions and rules being different for the smaller clubs and the bigger clubs. I think Everton FC, I'm completely behind their appeal, and I completely disagree with the 10-point deduction coming in this season. It's not fair, and I do worry what's going to come now with them potentially even being sued by the 3 clubs to the 777 new partners. They've walked into an absolutely difficult position here. But guys, this is all about discussion. I want to know what you think in the comments down below. We know that they've broken the rules. We know that they've opened through the PSR threshold. 124.5 million. The threshold's 105. We know they've surpassed that. But surely there is a better way around this to look after the football club and making sure that they don't go down the same spiral as Bolton Wanderers, or even what we've seen to recently with Reading and Wigan. I worry for that. And there is a bigger gap about the bigger clubs and the smaller clubs in football. I just don't understand the consistency, because it needs to be balanced. We're seeing less and less of the stories like the Leicester Cities at the moment, where they can go and win the Premier League. And look how much the point gap is increasing. You could probably stay up this year in the Premier League on 30 points. There's no longer a fair battle from the best of the worst in this league. And it boils down to decisions like that. That's my personal opinion. But I want to hear yours in the comments below. Everton fans, stick together. Believe in yourself and just honestly keep fighting. We've seen this happen to Derby County. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and I genuinely hope that you'll find a way out of this and you don't just go into a downward spiral as a football club. I'm worried, I have to say, with the consistency and the rules of this game. But guys, if you agree with me, hit the like, get down the comments. It's all about discussion. I mean, responding to people, and fingers crossed we can see some more fairness in this game, because I am really losing it with football at the moment. I don't understand where this has come into play. Thank you for watching this video. I am mind blown by today's news. See you down in the comments. Bye-bye.